Why? Because we are silent. We cannot be silent anymore.
Issues the young are grappling with are the same issues that the old are grappling with. The problems people of yesterday and people of today are facing are the same. The answers might be different in the aspect of what age does it apply to you. But we are grappling with the same issues. You people, getting someone to talk to in this country who can understand you. People are seated with a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Families are broken, but people don't want to say. People are just moving with their wives. They are attending functions, they are smiling. When they reach home, mama, in the bed, the man sleeps with a helmet because he doesn't know whether the wife is going to come with a stick and hit the head with a hammer. But in the public, they are smiling. I can tell you, a lot is going on. So we might be here thinking that Mama is helping the young generation, but he's helping us. Even the old generation, a lot is going on. A lot.
Now, with the clock ticking to the budget reading, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, is calling for prioritization of resource allocations to the ministries, departments and agencies. In the new financial year, several key sectors that are expected to get more resources as per their planned activities. However, they may not be the case, as Dennis Sagoa reports.
The appeal for prioritization of the national budget by the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development comes in the wake of proposed budget cuts to various public entities, among them the Minister of Energy, whose budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025 has been slashed by 56% across board.
The core agenda had 56% budget cut across board, but even with the core agenda, there are more cuts that have been announced.
According to Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa, certain sectors need more resources in order to ensure that the NRM Manifesto is achieved within the stipulated time frame.
We have to begin explaining to the people on how our budget is performing. Otherwise, we will go through the manifesto and see what NRM promised people and how much we have achieved. But because of that gap, the financing gap, you have not been able to expand the transmission line. You've not been able to achieve the 3,500 megawatts, which you promised that by 2025, Uganda will have 3,500 megawatts. We are at 2,481 megawatts as I speak now. So we have to begin speaking out so that Ugandans are prepared without being interpreted as lamenting.
Nankabirwa made these remarks on the sidelines of the National Stakeholder Workshop on Atomic Energy Bill 2024. This bill seeks to put in place a sound and conducive environment for development of nuclear energy in a safe, secure and sustainable manner.
The target of the ministry is to be able to produce about 5,000 megawatts of electricity if we are not to plunge this country into an energy crisis. And you can't believe it that as we speak today, we are producing about 1,900 megawatts. But the target is 52,000 megawatts. And we are left with 16 years to reach 2040.
The growing energy demand and key infrastructure developments have necessitated the government to develop all the available electricity generation potential.
The ministry has started the long-awaited planning and development of having the energy mix to meet the energy needs of this country. So in that direction, we find that the process of having nuclear power reactors in the country is a reality.
I've been appreciating Parliament, the leadership of Parliament, how they've been handling my issues, because they appreciate that electricity is very critical in the political agenda of many people.
Uganda currently generates just over 2,000 megawatts. However, this capacity is still below the desired 52,481 megawatts required to achieve the target of Uganda Vision 2040. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
The Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, has accused the Parliamentary Commission of holding meetings without his participation. Senyonyi says the Commission quietly approved the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the Parliament for the next financial year without his knowledge. Leader of Opposition wants the ongoing investigations on corruption extended to the Parliamentary Commission and ensure proper accountability of the funds approved.
While addressing the media on Wednesday, the Leader of Opposition, Joel Senyonyi, showed a letter he has written to the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, inquiring about the operations of the Parliamentary Commission.
I have learned that there are some quiet meetings of the Commission that have been happening in the Speaker's office, usually with the backbench commissioners. Now, how does that become a meeting of the Commission?
Lop Senyonyi, a member of the Parliamentary Commission, has continued to accuse the Commission for holding sittings without his participation.
Because as leader of the opposition, I am maybe what you would call a front bench commissioner. That's why we have backbench commissioners.
Accordingly, Lop Senyonyi wants to understand how the Commission derived with the approvals of the estimates of revenue and expenditure for Parliament for the next financial year 2024-2025.
Is there something that the Commission is hiding from some of its members like myself? Are they keeping me out of the Parliamentary Commission meetings because I ask too many questions?
When reached out, the Director of Communications at Parliament, Chris Obore, had this to respond.
I haven't seen Lop's letter because it addressed the Speaker. But if those are the issues contained in the letter, the true position is that the Commission only sits when the Speaker, who the chairperson, calls it. And to the best of my recollection, there hasn't been a Commission meeting called by the Speaker.
Lop wants the ongoing investigations, spearheaded by police on the allegations of corruption at Parliament, be extended to the Parliamentary Commission to unearth the dark grass.
The budget of Parliament goes through a process, including the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. The law provides that a month before presentation, a month or two, the Speaker, the Parliamentary Commission in this case, has to go to the President to present their budget estimates. This was done. The Parliamentary Commission interfaces with the President on its budget, and the President looked through the budget and gave his approval.
Since President Yoweri Museveni ordered for investigations into the Minister of Finance and Parliament, 3 MPs have been netted and facing the charges on corruption. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
Members of Parliament who were recently arrested on allegations of corruption have been charged and remanded to Luzira Government Prison as they await prosecution to verify the documents of their places of residence. The remanded members of Parliament include Yusuf Mutembule, Paul Akamba and Sisi Namujju.
3 members of Parliament arrested by security operatives on allegations of corruption have finally been paraded in court to answer charges that led to their arrest. The 3 members of Parliament include Yusuf Mutembule, Member of Parliament for Bunyole West, Paula Kamba, Member of Parliament for Busiki County Constituency, and Sisa Namujuman, Member of Parliament for Rengo District. They appear that the Anti-Corruption Court from the Criminal Intelligence Department under tight security around 3:30 p.m. The members of parliament were first sent to court cells before being paraded in court before Chief Magistrate Joan Yasilo for plea. In a courtroom filled to capacity with relatives and friends of the accused, court charged them with 1 count of corruption, contrary to Section 2A and 26 of the Anti-Corruption Act of 2009 as amended.
On the 13th day of May 2024, at Hotel Africana in Kampala City, solicited from Miriam Wangadia, the chairperson of the Uganda Human Rights Commission, UHRC, an undue advantage of 20% of the anticipated enhanced budget of the UHRC for the financial year 2024-2025 in consideration of the said undue advantage. So, Honorable Yusuf, have you had an understood?
Initially, one of the accused, Yusuf Mutembule, pleaded guilty to the offences, but later changed his plea to not guilty.
Is it true?
Very true. Very untrue. Very untrue.
Prosecution led by Nicholas Kawoya informed court that inquiries into the offences against the accused are nearing completion.
Your Worship, the state has a few pending inquiries to complete. As such, we pray for mentioned dates to update courts on the status of it.
Seeking temporary freedom, the accused, through their legal team, asked court to be granted bail by each presenting 2 to 3 sureties.
The accused persons, incarcerating them before police, his basic rights were denied. Your Honor, the accused person was inaccessible by the lawyer, by the family.
Prosecution basing its submissions on the rules governing this court, among other grounds, objected to the accused's bail application.
The particulars of the fixed place of abode for the accused persons. Your Worship, we acknowledge the introduction letter in regards to A1, which we are enjoined to verify.
Being that the accusations made against the members of parliament make it a public interest case, prosecution asked court for more time to verify documents presented to court by the accused and their presses overboard. Following the length of the submissions from both parties, Magistrate Joan Yasilo adjourned the case to June 14, 2024 for mention of the case. He found guilty the accuser to face a maximum sentence of 10 years or a fine of 240 currency points or both. The 3 members of parliament were arrested following the president's concern over corrupt members of parliament colliding with the Minister of Finance during budgetary allocation. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Thank you, Deborah Namamonde. Now, the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities has appealed to the heads of mission from the ring states to amplify the splendor and allure of Uganda's tourism sector in the states they represent in order to revamp the once blooming sector from the 7th position where it is currently lying. This was during the ongoing retreat of heads of mission from ring states aimed at promoting economic growth.
The unparalleled beauty of Uganda, coupled with rich cultures and diverse wildlife, earned her the title the Pearl of Africa. However, from the onset of COVID-19, the tourism sector has deteriorated drastically to the 7th position where it currently lies. It is from this backdrop that the sector is calling upon heads of mission to utilize their positions to identify and cultivate opportunities that can drive growth and visibility of Uganda's tourism sector.
We have been able to surface from where we were not known to actually position ourselves as the 10th best destination on the continent for mice. This was in 2018. Since then, we have made better strides So in of course, COVID came and disrupted everything. 2022, we moved to the 6th best position. This year we are in the 7th for some reasons, but we are looking for a brighter future.
To fully realize the potential of our tourism sector, the Chief Executive Officer of the Uganda Tourism Board, Lily Ajarova, recommends equipping embassy officials with the most appropriate information about what is there to offer from Uganda's tourism sector.
And so when we have meetings like this, it's important to update them on what we have, what is going on, so that it's able to guide them on how they have to enhance their marketing effort in the market as well. And
in attendance was the Deputy Executive Director, UNBS, in charge Standards Patience Ejalo Bagaine, who highlighted on the strides taken by UNBS to ensure Ugandan products meet regional and international standards.
We are putting a lot on harmonization of standards. The government's, the National Development Plan, what we are all interested in is to increase our export capacity and replace the import substitution, right? But what we make sure is that the quality of our product is never at question.
Also some tariff barriers. Countries that are putting levies on our products when it's a common market. So all our missions will have to look at those barriers to increasing our exports. Of course, there are other barriers. Some of them have to do with infrastructure. We are addressing the standards of our products.
Government, through the Ministry of Finance, has availed funds to heads of mission under economic and commercial diplomacy. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs says these have to be guided on how to enhance Ugandan products on foreign markets.
The ministry and the government, the Ministry of Finance has provided funds to our missions under the economic and commercial diplomacy. So before these funds are disbursed to the missions, we needed the missions to be ready to utilize these scarce resources in the most optimum way and then with measurable results.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
The Ministry of Education and Sports has designed early childhood development education policy intending to regulate pre-primary education. The Director, Basic Education, Ismail Mlindwa, says this policy stipulates curriculum and special mode of instructions to age brackets in pre-primary classes. The Director was representing the Ministry at the launch of the report concerning fees as a barrier for pre-primary education. We have more.
The education pre-primary is completely run by the private sector, and government's role is to provide guidance and regulations on how these kindergartens are supposed to operate. Government has come in to stipulate which content to feed these young people to avert early exploitation.
What we need to do as a ministry is to guide them and regulate the operations of ECD in this private sector. That's why now we are coming up with even a policy to guide the ECD at that level with the private sector.
The Early Childhood Development Education Policy aims to harmonize curriculum of kindergartens, starting from registration to the classroom arrangement.
Policy specifically talks about how ECD is going to be conducted in terms of infrastructure, in terms of human resource, in terms of resource materials.
The Initiative for Social and Economic Rights, working with partners, have launched a research report showing how fees have deprived children of attending pre-primary centers.
Fees for Bachelor of Science in Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Even Bachelor of Education at Makerere is cheaper than nursery because it is 1,022,000. Statistics, economics, all these courses are becoming cheaper than nursery. And nursery is proving to be expensive because there is no government provision and then it is not regulated. So that is why you want government to come in.
The research recommends that government amend the Education Act 2008 and take part in pre-primary education.
globally have adopted or amended legislation to provide free pre-primary or to expand access. And we know that this can make a huge difference. So for example, looking at a different part of the world, when Azerbaijan adopted a new law guaranteeing free pre-primary, the participation rates skyrocketed.
The research indicates that children who miss education foundation or pre-primary face repercussions in the short and long run.
Or she misses out on early stimulation to learn when the brain is growing at its fastest, thus leading to mental retardation and resentment for learning.
Despite the liberalized education sector, the ministry is attempting to discuss with the education investors on fees structure.
Not only ECD who are affected by exorbitant fees, even other levels. You have had outcries of fees in secondary, in primary, so it will be handled comprehensively in that area.
Efforts to attain education justice and special access are being hampered by fees as a discriminatory barrier in the education system. Abdul Nasir Luwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, Right Reverend Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, has inspired fathers to stand up to the occasion and take responsibility of their families as opposed to relying on their wives for everything. Dr. Mugalu cites the biblical teachings that portray man as the head of the family. The Archbishop said this as he presided over the opening ceremony of the three-day Fathers Union Conference taking place at Namremba Guest House in Kampala.
A section of married men under their umbrella Association of Fathers Union is attending a conference with the aim of sharing knowledge and challenges faced in marriage ministry, a tool for responsible fatherhood. According to Samuel Bakutana, the provincial president of Fathers Union, participants were drawn from all the 39 dioceses, with each posting 2 members.
Men's leaders, they are the ones who are here from 39 dioceses across the country. Harmonization of our processes, establishment of the structures in place through which the work of reaching out to the men, to the fathers can happen, so that when they are equipped, they can also reach out to their own families, and those families can reach out to the community, and the communities can reach out to the nation.
While officiating at the opening ceremony, the Archbishop of Church of Uganda, Right Reverend Dr. Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, decried increased cases of gender-based violence brought about by absentee fathers, urging them to rise up to the occasion.
Please, wake up, take up your position. We shouldn't be lazy, we shouldn't be redundant. We shouldn't leave responsibility to the women. A woman is a helper.
Relatedly, men have been implored to always seek for support and counseling in times of hardships instead of holding on to anger and problems that at times push them into depression.
Jumping for my Lord.
This comes on the heels of allegations that majority of men would rather suffer than open up to others for fear of being rebuked or mocked. Citing some of the recent cases of suicide, Samuel Bakutana urged men to outgrow outdated beliefs that frame men as pain-insulated.
When you meet together, stop just talking about football and you're talking about how you are part of which group of Subaru owners, and you are talking about how you are now in the corporate league as an assistant, this deputy, the other. No, open up, talk about what you are truly going through and find help for one another.
Fathers Union is a membership fellowship of married men in the Church of Uganda, with a primary focus of mobilizing and equipping fathers for church and community. Dorcas Kimono, UBC News.
UBC News tonight. Now Uganda joins the rest of the world in observing the first ever UN International Day of Play, calling for especially children at calling for time to be carved out for play, especially for children at home, school and in the community. Now, June 11th is now part of the UN calendar as the International Day of Play, marking it a significant milestone in efforts to preserve, promote, prioritize playing as an integral component of human life. Children from Verona Stars in Mukono town are proud to be part of the International Play Day launch. We have the details.
The old proverb, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, comes into the limelight as Ugandans take time off to play at the launch of the first ever UN International Day of Play. During the celebrations in Mukono district with children from Verona Stars, Frank Rutten, the coach and facilitator from the Brick Solutions Germany, highlighted the relevance of play in human life.
Playing is something which probably we see as people our whole life. We watch people playing, we watch big games, and to promote a World Play Day is necessary because you should try to find ways to implement play into everyday's life.
Play is crucial for children learning, well-being and development. With the introduction of Lego bricks, the 6 bricks have begun traversing schools in Uganda, using these learning aids to train teachers integrate play into their lessons.
6 bricks on a desk. It's reminding the teachers to do something continuously, a daily activity or even 2, so that the teachers and the students even see progress themselves in remembering whatever. 6 bricks is touching all developmental areas which are vital for learnings.
On introducing play learning in Uganda, the 6 Bricks Solutions, in partnership with Brick Solutions Germany, have developed a 6 Bricks teaching and learning training manual, as well as implementing playful learning skills in schools.
With 6 Bricks, we don't do away with the curriculum. It's an addition to the curriculum, to our curriculum. Actually, it's a practical side of the curriculum. Because the reason we apply it more in the nursery section, these kids are just beginning to develop their senses.
The director of Verona Kids, Dr. Roslyn Nyamutale, was overjoyed to be part of the inaugural play celebrations.
First launch of this International Play Day in the whole world. It's not only in Mukono. Verona Stars has not only been the first school in Mukono, but also in Uganda, and we have been part of the United Nations as they launched the International Play Day.
She observes that through play, children at her kindergarten can forge connections with peers, build a wide range of leadership skills, develop resilience, and conquer fears. The Play Day in Mukono was themed, Making Mistakes is Okay, where infants performed various activities using the 6 Bricks learning aids. Fiona Francisco, UBC News.
The Uganda National Oil Company, UNOC, is wholly owned by the Government of Uganda and was established to safeguard and promote Uganda's commercial interests in the petroleum sector. UNOC has 2 subsidiaries, the Uganda Refinery Holding Company URHC, which will hold a 40% stake in the 60,000 barrel per day refinery and manage the development of Kabalega Industrial Park, and the National Pipeline Company Limited, NPC, in charge of pipelines, storage, and downstream business ventures. This subsidiary holds 15% interest in the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, EACOP. EACOP is a 1,445-kilometer long pipeline that will transport crude oil through 10 districts in Uganda to the port of Tanga in Tanzania. UNOC is also actively engaged in crude oil exploration, development, and production activities, and its participation role includes a 15% stake in the Tilenga, Nwoya, and Bulisa, and Kingfisher development projects, Chikure. UNOC also holds the exploration license for Kasuruban Block in Hoima, Bulisa and Masindi. UNOC currently owns and manages the Ginger Storage Terminal and will build a 320 million litre capacity terminal in MPG called the Kampala Storage Terminal. At UNOC, we're harnessing the potential of Uganda's petroleum resources, forging a sustainable future and preserving the natural beauty of Uganda. UNOC, your partner in Uganda's oil and gas industry.
Morning time wao mwami wange nangamba yesterday bamukubiddeko essimu aba MTN nga bamugamba nti awangudde ssente school fees owa Andrew. In fact tuli awo nga tukyabuusabuusa naye nzikiriza mazima nga maze kulabako ate at the first nalinga ndowooza MTN balina ebintu byabwe bapanga nga sirabako ku neighbor wange nga bamukubidde kasimu. Twebaza MTN bannange okutuddizaawo bannaayo okuddiza guba mwoyo. Tweyanzeege omuzadde yenna ali eyo bannange ebintu bya ddala togaana kukikola kozesa MTN okusasula school fees w'omwana wo ng'onyiga *165*80# banaye bya ddala si bya kyayi.
Together we're unstoppable.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby Junior jelly.
Though dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Baby Junior. Baby Junior.
Cheers to something refreshingly different. Putting the brakes on a fast-paced world. Slowing down. Just enough to stand out. Cheers to the beer that does it differently. Brewed longer for extra refreshment. Refreshingly Club. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still with us here in UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Elizabeth Nakakwani on sign language interpretation. Now, in more news this evening, a consultative meeting has been held between the Minister of State for Northern Uganda and honourable members of Parliament from the West Nile sub-region to discuss pressing issues affecting the region. The meeting aimed to gather insights from the parliamentarians on the challenges faced by the region and potential solutions to address these issues.
Key issues discussed included the need for improved infrastructure, particularly electricity, to boost economic development.
The introduction of coffee was forceful and was also brutal. That's why they called it Chiboko. Chiboko, you know, very in Swahili, is a cane beating. So it was introduced that way. Meaning it was not a very simple thing to do here. So we are going to assume that if you talk about coffee, we're just going to introduce coffee in some of those areas. So people need to be taught. And just like you said, I think people who are serving the people must get serious, especially the extension workers.
The parliamentarians emphasized that the lack of electricity hinders the processing of raw materials, leading to a loss of potential income.
We have some counties which are connected to the national grids, but they could not access electricity because they are not commissioned. We have districts which are not even having single poles. So we ask that there is a need for this ministry to link with the sister ministry like Ministry of Energy to see that the issue of electricity in Western Nile is addressed.
They also highlighted the importance of industrial parks and the need for government support in their development.
We did discuss about the industrial development agenda for Western Nile that requires us to have industrial parks and business parks in the greater Nebim in the greater Ruwa-Lubara sub-region as well as the greater Mali sub-region. The efforts to industrialize West Nile have been hampered mainly because of lack of access to electricity.
Another significant issue raised was the need for compensation for cooperative societies that were affected during the war. The meeting also touched on the need for informed decisions based on research to help people in the region move away from poverty.
We have a potential of minerals within the region. We have oil from West Nile. We have other minerals within the region, iron and metal. We know that through your office, if you can speak with the Ministry of Minerals Development, if we can have investors to explore this within the region, that creates employment for our people. If oil is there in West Nile, where will this oil be taken? Maybe using the pipeline down to Bulisa. But what we are urging is, can we have mineral exploration developments within the region that creates employment? It is in line with what government has said and this government of NRM.
The parliamentarians emphasized the importance of addressing the root causes of poverty and the need for sustainable solutions. Sudat Kai, UBC News.
Leaders from the Eastern region have convened to focus on the implementation of the National Resistance Movement Manifesto. The meeting, graced by the Director of Manifesto Implementation, Willis Bashasha, provided a crucial platform for regional leaders to discuss achievements, challenges and the way forward in delivering the promises made to the electorate.
As senior leaders, it is your duty.
The NRM Manifesto outlines initiatives for Uganda's socio-economic transformation, focusing on infrastructure, health, education, agriculture and governance.
This idea of saying each sub-county should have a health center. I have sub-counties in my district where the population is 30,000 people. And there are sub-counties where the population is 10,000 people. The one, because of having geographic indicators, you are missing to serve people. You are now serving geographies. So we need to review indicators so that they talk to the realities of the people. And that comes even to PDM. I am speaking on behalf of districts without ministers.
The meeting aimed to review the progress of ongoing projects and identify bottlenecks and challenges in their implementation.
Today, this is the end of today's session, and from the information we have got, we see something coming up. PDM is on the ground, and at least we are not coming in to look for success stories. At least those who got cows, some have produced, who planted the crops, some have harvested. You see, there is a hope for tomorrow. And I think what was lacking is that guidance.
Willis Bashasha emphasized the government's commitment to fulfilling its promises. He highlighted the importance of accountability and transparency in the implementation process.
They are responsible for mobilization to make sure that the people are encouraged to improve uptake in government programs. Thirdly, they are supposed to be leading communicators in what the government has so far done, and probably where we have not moved on well, they should also be able to offer reasons why we are not able to deliver.
During the meeting, various leaders presented reports on the progress of specific projects.
There is a members of parliament in your focus. Please tell the president to make his ministers to be patriotic. You can find that projects that are designed in a central government. Ministers sit in cabinet, allocate themselves projects to all the areas where they represent. And yet now they tell us districts, they tell us to lobby. If we knew lobbying was a political party, we would have wanted lobbying as opposed to NRM.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has revealed plans of integrating information about child labour in the education curriculum to create awareness to learners about this kind of child exploitation. While officiating at the commemoration of the World Day Against Child Labour at Mistil Hotel in Kampala, State Minister for Children and Youth in the Ministry of Gender, Balam Barugahara said government is to construct more schools to provide free education.
Uganda has joined the rest of the world to celebrate the Day of the Fight Against Child Labour. This day comes at a time when over 6.2 million children aged between 5 to 17 years are in child labour. However, government together with development partners have picked a number of children who were involved in child labour from the streets back to school as one of the initiatives to fight the vice. The Minister of State for Gender in charge of children and youth, Balam Barugahara, pledged to construct more schools to give free education to Ugandan children.
It is an injustice that is felt in most cases of level of household and families. 2/3 of the child labor occurs as contributing family members, but it holds back economic growth of the entire society. According to the National Labour Organization report, Road Forward 2020, child labor remains a persistent problem in the world.
The representatives of Civil Society Organization of Uganda, Executive Director Anap Khan, Uganda Chapter, Ignatius Nuoha, said that courses are working with lawmakers to regulate engaging children in different work. The country director, Human Institute for Development Cooperation, Wajega Juliet, said that they are working together with the government and International Labour Organization to find solution for the children that have been found to be victims of child labour.
6.2 children in child labour, and Barbara was saying, what is the cause? We need to see how do we get those children out of child labour. We can use the area-based approach, and in the area-based approach, all stakeholders are very, very key. And
the Day of the Fight Against Child Labour is being commemorated under the theme, Let Us Act Now on Our Commitments and End Child Labour.
UBC News Tonight takes another short break, but we'll be back with more stories.
Hey, business people of Uganda, the Ugandan National Lottery is coming. It's the perfect opportunity to boost your business. Zimba your business by becoming an authorized Uganda National Lottery agent. By paying a security deposit of just 250,000 shillings, you will receive your very own Uganda National Lottery terminal, expert training from the pros themselves, and marketing materials to skyrocket your sales. And with a generous 5% commission on every ticket sold, the potential for earnings is limitless. Don't miss out. Act now and call us toll-free at 0800 33 44 33 to see if you qualify. Join us today and Zimba your business. Ituba Uganda is regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
I like to stay fresh. You wanna compete, tell it be my get. Lighting. Lighting. I did make a lighting up.
Welcome back, and now into the business scene. Uganda earmarks 265 billion shillings to tarmac 70 kilometers of feeder and access roads in Mukono district and the municipality as part of the 5-year Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program funded by a hedge from the World Bank, implemented by the Office of the President. Now, this was revealed by the State Minister for Kampala Affairs, Kabuye Chofa-Togabye, while addressing leaders of Mukono District and Mukono Municipality on how to put the funds to good use.
Mukono District and Municipality are one of the localities in Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area that are affected by heavy traffic congestion, complex land tenure and reduced access to investment due to poor road network. Because of its nature and a home of biodiversity and tourism attraction, industrial hub for the country, home for Entebbe International Airport, among other fundamental factors, government has put emphasis on infrastructural development in the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area.
We, as the Office of the President, Ministry for Kampala Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs, developed a strategy, which strategy analyzed problems facing Kampala Metropolitan Area, and it is a 10-year strategy. And from the strategy, we came up with programs. One of it was the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Area Urban Development Program.
Speaking to Mukono District and Mukono Municipal Council stakeholders during a consultative meeting for the program, Minister Chofa-Togabye asserted that the program, unlike before, will see integration of the infrastructure system in form of roads.
Of course, being a municipality will come with other auxiliary facilities like street lights, walkways, and also we are now trying to come up with a mechanism of avoiding damaging of our roads constantly, and that one can only be done by provision of what we call service lanes. So these lanes are going to design in such a way we put what we call service ducts, so that if you want to if you want to install your water pipe, there's a service channel you're going through. If you want to improve maybe cameras, there's a service duct you have to go through, other than damaging and always cutting into the road through the roads to install this facility.
According to Monica Edemachu Ejua, Under Secretary in the Office of the President, the program is intended to boost development.
As we receive funds, the funds are focusing on infrastructure development to improve mobility and accessibility. We are looking at improving drainages, improving, creating workspaces for the unemployed youth, women, economic clusters.
Even when sensitization in form of consultation with the local population is ongoing, Edemachu said the program will not see affected persons compensated. The beneficiaries from the 5-year program, financed through a 2.1 trillion shillings from the International Development Association of the World Bank Group, include KCCA, Entebbe, Kira, Machinde Sabagabo, Mukono and Nasana municipalities, as well as Mukono, Mpigi and Wakiso districts. Amwaiva Njuko and Basilica Sharon for UBC.
Trade between the East African countries has experienced a paltry improvement over the years, says Angelina Ngalula, the chairperson, East African Business Council. At just over 15% intra-regional trade, the East African Business Council chairperson is concerned about the region's capacity to compete favorably in the wider African continental free trade area.
The East African Community regional integration is more of rhetoric and not practical, says Angelina Ngalula, the chairperson, East African Business Council. Ms. Ngalula, who is in the country on EAC business matters, says the region needs a grand plan in order to achieve its intended goals.
The ticket to travel from Tanzania to Uganda is costing me $1,700 USD. You are going to Peking? I'm going to China with the same amount, even less.
Which makes it
return
easier
ticket
for you to do business there
in Europe instead of coming here. How do we expect it? That's why we are still at 15% intra-region trade.
Her concerns are reinforced by the Executive Director, EABC, John Bosco Kalisa.
We want to grow our intra-regional trade to 40%. That was our commitment. But for almost 3 years, I'm turning 3 years with EABC, we are still at 15% because of these challenges.
In an engagement with the board and management of the Uganda Manufacturers Association, the EABC officials called for more collaboration and mindset change in order to foster inter-regional trade that currently stands at a decimal 15%.
Some NTBs arise out of the issues that we have just discussed, arising out of slow progress, for example, on slow progress on standard harmonization. That could cause serious NTBs, because if one region recognizes this standard and another one does not recognize it, that's a serious NTBs. But I am happy that there is a lot of progress on standards harmonization, and going forward, we should be. And we have a factor that is pushing us to resolve our issues here, is the Africa Free Continental Area.
And the message that we keep on pressing forward as a private sector in East Africa is that we need to produce more. If any country in East Africa does not have enough money within its borders, one of the reasons is that we keep sending that money elsewhere. That's why we are talking about insufficient amounts of trade within East Africa, because that increased business amongst ourselves would increase our own productivity.
The East African community is built on a principle of people-centeredness and private sector leadership of the integration agenda. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
CFA Society East Africa has hosted its second Alternative Investments Conference as part of the Venture Capital and Alternative Investments Week in Kampala in collaboration with the East Africa Private Equity and Venture Capital Association. The event, aimed to encourage collaboration within the investment community, was jointly hosted with the Private Sector Foundation Uganda in Kampala.
People don't understand that a startup CEO founder may not have the smarts to scale up. Doesn't mean you're incompetent, even globally.
The CFA Society East Africa has hosted its second Alternative Investments Conference aimed at providing a critical platform for local investment players, regulators, funders and development agents to discuss pertinent topics related to channeling local and foreign capital into local businesses. Dixon Sembuya from the Capital Markets Authority emphasized the importance of revising the Capital Markets Act to redefine private capital, crucial for fostering private investment and economic growth in Uganda.
And we are committed to open communication and fostering dialogue that will prioritize both innovation and investor protection. So,
Damali Sali from the Private Sector Foundation Uganda highlighted the foundation's effort to support local businesses by establishing a fund that will absorb both local and private capital to benefit Ugandan's economy. Co-chaired by David Ivan Wangolo and Alan Lwetabe, the conference aimed to promote ethical standards, forge partnerships and deliver valuable investors' outcomes.
If we cannot address our local capital formation, we should not expect others to address it for us. That is the tenet of this discussion.
Alan Lwetabe of CFA Society East Africa explained that the conference is part of the Venture Capital and Alternative Investments Week, made possible through collaboration with the Private Sector Foundation Uganda and the East Africa Private Equity and Venture Capital Association.
Coming from our recognition that where Uganda has reached, we need all to pull together to find solutions, build our schools, build new hospitals, We need to create companies that are going to employ our children tomorrow. And if we don't do these things today, they will not exist tomorrow.
CFA Society East Africa is committed to promoting ethics, education, and professional excellency within the investment community, providing a platform for knowledge sharing, networking, and collaboration among investment professionals and stakeholders.
So even when the capital is readily available, why are local enterprises not able to access this capital? If they access it, how can they better utilize it to achieve the 2x, 10x, that the team is speaking about?
The whole idea is to be able to showcase the different investment classes that are there in investments, the different opportunities, and help the industry understand better the opportunities that are there in alternative investments.
The Private Sector Foundation Uganda, comprising 300 business associations, corporate bodies, and major public sector agencies, supports private sector growth in Uganda. The CFA Society East Africa Conference attracted regulators, policymakers, investment professionals, financiers, investors, and fund managers. Mutoni Hilda, Deo Habimana, UBC.
And now to the world of sports. It's a good outing for Team Uganda at the ongoing FIBA Under-18 Zone 5 Championships. Both girls and boys have won all their games, awaiting semi-final games tomorrow.
Uganda's youth basketball teams, the Junior Gazelles and Junior Silverbacks, the boys, continue to show prowess at the ongoing FIBA Under-18 Zone 5 Championships. Playing at Lugogo, both teams secured top seeds for the Thursday semi-finals. The Junior Gazelles defeated Tanzania, winning 103-48. Reston Anagwe was exceptional with a game-high 29 points, together with Modesta Anyango's 22 points and Angela Awoma's 14 points. Plus 12 rebounds. Tanzania, on the other hand, struggled, missing 24 of their 29 3-point attempts. This win follows the Juniors Gazelles' previous triumphs over Rwanda and Kenya, ensuring a perfect record. Uganda now faces Tanzania again in the semi-finals, while Kenya and Rwanda clash in the other semi-final matchup.
And with that, UBC News Tonight has come to an end. Thank you so much for your company this evening. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto and my colleague Elizabeth Nakakoni. We bid you farewell and good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. On this week's episode of Behind the Headlines, Timothy Nyangweso and our panel of experts will unpack the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget and its implications for Uganda's development. The panel will also shine light on the intricacies of domestic funding, tax reforms and investment incentives, providing insights crucial for businesses and citizens alike. Join the pre-budget discussion exclusively on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Oluka Jamila and you're watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Today we are yet here again with another very fabulous story. We're going to be having a number of women today sharing their stories about their daily lives, their journeys in life, and also what they are going through. It's actually an exceptional show. But before we invite our guest here, I would like to give credit to Dotash for giving us such a beautiful place, always relying very reliable place that you can come and get everything you need for your home. I mean, from the furniture, dining, balcony set, everything, including the lights and the decor, you can make it in your home. So just drop by and come and have a look and then beautify your home. You don't need to go somewhere. You just have to come here and then you'll get all the things you need. This lady is all the way from KCCA, Kampala. And today there are quite a number of them, and we'll be sharing their stories as I mentioned earlier. So, Madam, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
I'll start by asking you, tell us your name, where you're from.
My name, I'm called Navie Rose. I come from Namwongo. I'm working in the industry area.
Yes.
I'm working with KCCA.
So Namwongo, is that your village?
Yes.
So in Buganda, they say Owandira Chi. So which clan are you from? What's your totem?
I come from Jinja. I'm a Musoga.
You were Musoga?
Yes.
Where they eat mboli, amaido, okobachi, okobachi. They say it okobachi what? Dada. You see?
Grandfather.
All that. So, Nabire, you're called Nabire. You're supposed to be a twin, isn't it?
No.
But they say it's
I'm the one who produced twins.
You are the one, sorry, you're a Nabire. Yes. Today we have a Nabire in this show. So Nabire, tell us briefly, where did you grow up from? Which schools did you go to? Where you're working right now?
I'm from Jinja.
Yes.
Buwenge, Town Council. I started in Buchonda Primary School from P1 up to P7. From there, I came to Rugazi. I started senior 1 up to senior 3. Then I go back to the village. There is a school there. They call St. Peter's College.
Still in Jinja?
Yes. I started there senior 4. After there, I branched because of money.
Yes.
Yeah, with my family, they did not have enough money.
You never grew sugar cane, because I know almost everyone grows sugar cane in Jinja.
Sugar cane is there. But these days is there too much. But the other time, there is no sugar.
So after school, when the school fees was not there, what did you go and do?
Even I went up to Soga University. I was doing records and information management. But the money, I failed to finish.
But at least you are somewhere. You see, you can speak, they call it the Queen's English. You know, that's the beauty about school. So now, where do you work? Maybe you can share with us where you work right now.
From there, my first brother called my mother to come here in Kampala. We came from there. He put me in KCC.
So before you got children, how was Navire in Jinja?
Navire was okay.
You first tell me a bit of, maybe when you were a kid, you used to go to disco, you used to do what? You tell me.
No, for me, I did not go to disco.
So what did you used to do?
I used to go to church.
Which church?
For me, I'm born again.
You are born again? So when did you get born again?
I was in senior 2.
Senior 2, in Lugazi?
Yes.
Up to now?
Yes.
You don't take beer?
No.
But last time they put a party in KCCA, you people were dancing, you were drinking.
I not take alcohol. Because I'm born again.
You are born again.
Our children, they are at home sitting. Last year, my kids was there at home. They did not go to school.
And which class?
First born is in P4. Then the second one now, she's in P1. Yeah.
So she didn't even the baby.
2 years.
So even the kids didn't go to school the whole of last year?
Yes, they are sitting because of money. We sleep hungry. If you eat lunch, you got sleep.
So if right now...
Even they chased me in the house, I'm staying in church.
Right now?
Yes.
When did they chase you from your home?
Because of money, the landlord, I don't have the house.
Now you have been staying in church for how long?
Now 3 months.
Okay, now what's your last message to people out there, the ones who are watching you right now?
To be patient. Because if you are not patient, if I was not patient, I will be in Kabalagala because of the situation. Even believing in God, it is good.
It's good to meet you, Nabire. Thank you for sharing your story. We'll make sure that at least people who are watching should be able to know that the situation is actually not good. She's a mother, single mother of 3 children, and what she's going through is not really humane to her. You are still watching Super Soul Sisters with Jamila Oluka here, and here on UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. Today we told you in the beginning that we have a special show for the ladies from KCCA, and we'll be listening to their journeys of life, also their stories, where they have come from, what they're doing right now, and we will be using both English and the local languages for purposes of us understanding exactly what they are going through, what their life journey is. And today, we have already talked to one of them all the way from Jinja. Today, we are taking you all the way to Kisoro, and she'll be telling us her story. Kakati mukwano, webale nnyo kujja ku show. Obulamu. Kata amanya bayitaani.
Nze Hakiza Saverina.
Saverina.
Anti bazadde bange bava Kisoro. Kati ne basengukira muno. Basengukira ku Kampala. Kale nze saasobola kusoma. Bazadde bange tebansomesa kuba muzadde wange omusajja yafa. Olwatuuka n'omukazi n'agenda. Kati ne tubeerawo ne tusigala mu kutaataaganyirwa. Kati bwe twakula awo n'enkola kinze n'enyonya obufumbo. Ngenda mu bufumbo n'enfunayo omwami.
Wafumbira ng'oli myaka meka?
Nafumbirwa ndina emyaka 17. Netubeeraawo nenzaala abaana.
Kati mubadde mubeera nti wagambye mwajja Kampala n'ofumbira. Mubadde musula wanga muli Kampala?
Tusula Bajaba.
Bajama? Kati wanafumbira wagenze wa ne bbaawo?
Era awo mu Bajaba gye tubeera. Nkyanfumbirwa gye tubeera awo. Kati ne tubeeraawo tuzaala abaana. N'abaana ne bazaala.
Kati olina abaana meka? Nga olabika muto nnyo.
Nina abaana 5, baali 6 lwakubanga omu yafa.
Sorry.
Kati kwe kufuna omulimu mu KCCA.
Wafunye omulimu ng'okyazaala ngaba nga omaliriza kuzaala?
Ng'amaliriza okuzaala. Kuba KCCA ngimazeemu emyaka 10.
Omazemu myaka 10? Soke tutunyonyolemu. Wagenda ku KCCA just n'ogamba njagala mulimu, oba waliwo step y'obadde okola okufuna omulimu?
Era twagenda ku division tusaba emirimu nga bw'osaba omulimu. Ne tutandika okukolamu ebyo ebiseera bwe baatuwa omulimu ne ntandika okukola, naye nga mu ebyo ebiseera twakwatiranga ssente mu ngalo. Naye nga bijja bulungi. Kati kyagenda okutuuka ekiseera ne batuteeka mu bbanka.
Ogambye olina abaana 5. Ate olina ejjajja. Naye okubeera jjajja owulira atya?
Tulira bulungi nnyo.
Olina abazzukulu meka?
Nina abazzukulu
4. Bawala oba abalenzi?
Omulenzi omu, abawala 3.
Kati sooka otunyonyole bulungi. Oli jjajja, olira otya ng'olina abaana ate abaana bo nabo bamaze okukula?
Tulira bulungi nnyo. Twakubanga nabo kale bamaama baabwe baafuna obutakanya n'abasajja baabwe.
Ne baleeta ente?
Baafuna obutakanya ne bandeetera abaana. Kati abaana nze mbeera nabo.
Bonna bazzukulu? Severina, ng'oba otandise okukola watandika myaka ki?
Emyaka 10 emazeemu. Naye amateeka g'okukola kale tegaali mabi. Twakolanga ng'ogenda ku luguudo bakugambanga kugenda ssaawa emu, bw'otuuka ku luguudo ssaawa emu nga tuvaako 6 mu ebyo ebiseera. Kati ssaawa 6 bw'oba ozivuddeko ku luguudo olwo ng'ogenda nga weeyiyayo obulala butonotono ng'omukazi nga bw'omanya eby'abakyala.
Kati gwe kifo kye kiriwa? kubanga njagala nga ng'okola zijemu kukyaliremu katono.
Zekolera kororo ku Prince Charles ko oluguudo lwambuka ku kisaawe.
Kati ebizibu ki mulina nga mukola? Kubanga kati emmotoka nyingi Kampala, waliwo ababbi biki tunyonyelemu bulungi.
Kale nze nganze ebizibu byenfunyemu byo bingi. Kubanga oluguudo lwenkolerako luliko kusoomoozebwa kungi. Luliko abalalu, lumu omulalu yali nga ntomezezza mmotoka. Omwezi guno oguwedde era omulalu najja yangoba nenziruka nankanyugira ekicupa kati kuliko ka restaurant kendaddukirako mukazi eyanyamba era nga ayagala kunkuba ecupa n'emmotoka era nga bw'obimanyi oba okutamye baagala kutomera ababoda nga bw'obamanyi bwe bityo esente tumaze emyezi 4 guno gwakutaano.
Soko tunyonyelemu eyo mwezi 4 obadde okolayo ki?
Anti kati mba nina kugenda era n'embuzaabuza omanyi omuntu tosobola kubanja wootakoze eki zootakoze ndina kugendayo nenkorakorako bwemala kukorakorako era nengenda neneeyiya ng'abakyala bwe beeyiya kubanga baana baagala sikulu fees.
Oyiyayo ki? Kubanga nange ndi mukazi njagala kutandika okuyiiya, njagala kumanya Severina ayiyayo ki nange ngende kuyiiye.
Tundayo obunyaanya.
Otunda obunyaanya
n'obuturatura mukene bwebutyo.
Wali ewuwo?
Kubajabaawo. Nze nsaba gavumenti abali eyo bonna batuyambe batulwanirire kubanga ffe bamaama ffe bataata batulwanire tulabe bwe tusobola kufuna akasente ako katwala abaana ku masomero kubanga abaana b'ennaku zino bw'otuula nabo waka abaana bagenda ne baseguka era waka tewakuumirwayo mwana. Nze ntumidde muzeeyi Museveni era atulwanirire arabe ebizibu bino byonna bye tuyiseemu kubanga tuli bakozi tukola naye tufunye kusoomoozebwa nga tetufuna kasente kubanga ye taata waffe era yalina okutulwanira entalo zonna.
Kale tweyanziza nnyo. Kale. So as you've been hearing from these ladies, for those who are able to understand Luganda, from Sovelina, she's just one of the workers of KCC, and their cry is they haven't been paid for 4 months. I mean, these are people who earn very little money and they haven't been paid for 4 months. She's a grandmother, she has children, their kids who are still at home, because now this is the season of kids going back to school. Some kids went back a week before, others are still going back to school, and for them, they don't even have a future of when their kids are going back to school. She's complaining of also other safety measures that they have on the road, like mad people chasing her, people who drive badly. I think also that traffic should look into that, because these are human beings. When someone is working, let's say someone is sweeping the road, people who drive should be conscious, because these are also people who have families, as you've heard. Most times when we are driving, we pass these people in high speeds, we splash water on them, we ignore them, but you can see this is a person who has a child, who has children, she's a grandmother, she's also a human being, and above all, she's a Ugandan like me and you and any other person. But also, just to speak on their behalf, I would suggest that government should try to look into this issue, because at the end of it all, we need these people to keep Kampala clean. I'm really very impressed that even when they are going through these hardships, they still maintain the city clean. And it is just courteous enough that as authority, we should try to find a way of harmonizing their salaries. I know that times are hard, the economy is not doing well, but let us try, because according to their cry, I think before you heard what the Nalongo was saying, Nabire, she's staying in church with her 3 children. So you can imagine staying in church with 3 children with other people. What kind of life is that, you know? So let us try to see how to help these women. We'll be bringing more of them again after this break, but for now, let us go for a break. We shall be right back. Welcome back to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka, and you're watching UBC TV Inspiring Uganda. As I mentioned earlier in the show, we are having an exceptional guest today who will be using the local language, but will be translating at the end of every engagement with one of them. Now, we are taking you back again to Kisoro. This lady is all the way from Kisoro. She's called Mbabazi, and Mbabazi is going to tell us more about her life. kati Mbabazi tweyanziza nnyo kujja ku show eno show y'abakazi olaba wano tuyogera ebintu byaffe ng'abakazi erinnya yo ani kati tulubulira erinnya yo Jova kyonna kyonna
amanya gange bampitako Mbabazi Topista mvira Kisoro district then Gombolola Busanza parish Kitovu village Rurangala
kati gwomanyiwo Kisoro bulungi
waffe webanzaala ate ginafumbiddwa
wafumbira ne Kisoro naye kimanyi ti Kisoro wala
naye era Uganda
naye nungi bulina buno matooke Irish biki kasava naye temulya kasava nyo mulya nnyo Irish ne amatooke n'ennyama n'amata olabika bulungi bote enviri zonna zirabika bulungi onyiridde
tulabika bulungi nze nakulira waffe wataata ne maama mu village gye bayita Kitovu kati wenakula nensomako nasomera Kitovu primary school nemala P7 kati wenamala P7 linyingide mu secondary nensoma mu taama emu siniya 1 sente nezigaana kati sente wezagaana muzeyi n'agamba agenda kuweerera abaana abalenzi abawala omuwala akoleki atuule twali basatu nga tuli mu ssomero sente nezibeera nga teziriwo bulungi kati awo nentuula kati wenamala okutuula wenamala myaka 2 nenfuna omusajja owange yabeera ng'eno nga muvubuka najja nampasa yampasa nandeka mu kyalo je najja eno kuyiiya nasigala nga ali eno
abadde naye ali mu Nyankole
kati we yajja eno okukola ky'okuyiiya n'agamba tojja kubeera eyo nange mbeera eno nzekka
anti laavu yakatandika butandisi
kati nandeeta eno nenzijja eno netubeera eno wamu kati we twabeera eno wamu netuzaala first born kati we twazaala omwana ngenda okwetegeeza nemugaa kijja kusoboka okubeera eno okole nze nga siri kukola akasente tewali sente z'omuntu omu tezimala ne famire tupangisa nyumba kati awo nenzirayo amala okuddayo first born wange we yali akuze era nga njagala omwana omulala nenkomawo etalina budde obukola ki obujja kubeera mu kyalo nga nyonya sente nagamba nkomewo kati we najjira eno kwe kunoonya omulimu kesisi nagamba tebijja kusoboka okubeera eri nange nembeera eno nzekka